Ramana Maharshi lived in an atmosphere where even silence seemed alive. Those who came near him felt that words were unnecessary, that something deeper than speech was communicating. Around him, the trees, the birds, the stones, and even the animals shared the same stillness. Among them was a cow, gentle, calm, and utterly innocent, who lived in the ashram as though she too was part of that silent family. Ramana Maharshi would often sit quietly near her. He never looked at her as an animal. To him, she was as divine as any human being, as sacred as any saint. When he looked in her eyes, he saw the same pure consciousness that looked through his own. There was no separation. To him, all life was one flow, expressing itself in countless forms. As years passed, the cow became old and frail. One day, she stopped eating and lay down near the place where Ramana usually sat. The people around became worried. They told Maharshi that the cow seemed to be dying. He rose silently, walked toward her, and sat beside her. He placed his hand gently on her head and remained absolutely still. Those who were present felt something invisible happening. It was as though two beings had merged into one vast field of awareness. The cow's breathing slowed, her eyes became soft and peaceful, and then, without struggle, without pain, she left her body. Ramana remained seated beside her, eyes closed, unmoving. For a long time, there was complete silence. When he finally opened his eyes, he said softly, "She is free. There is no death." The consciousness that looked through her eyes is the same that looks through yours, through mine. She has simply returned to the infinite. For Ramana, this was not a symbolic statement. It was his living experience. He saw the same awareness shining through all beings. The human mind divides. It says this is human, that is animal, this is sacred, that is ordinary. But Ramana saw beyond these illusions. To him, everything was an expression of one life. The flower blooming, the river flowing, the child laughing, the cow dying, all were movements of the same eternal energy. When his disciples asked him later if the cow had attained liberation, he smiled and said, "She was always liberated. Only humans think they are bound." That one sentence revealed his whole teaching. That bondage is a dream created by thought, and awakening is nothing more than realizing that there was never prison at all. Ramana often said that innocence is closer to truth than knowledge. The cow had no philosophy, no scriptures, no meditation techniques. Yet, she lived naturally, without ego, without ambition. She did not pretend to be anything. Her very being was pure acceptance. In that simplicity lies the doorway to awakening. For him, enlightenment was not a privilege of humans or monks. It was the natural state of all existence. Awareness does not belong to anyone. It simply is. It shines through everything that lives and moves. The difference is only that some beings resist it with thought, while others flow with it in surrender. After her death, Ramana instructed his disciples to bury the body with the same respect they would give to any saint. A small stone was placed over the grave, and for years people felt a deep peace when they passed that spot. Ramana himself would sometimes stop there, stand silently for a few moments, and then walk away, his eyes filled with an unspoken love. He once said, "Look deeply and you will see that the same self looks through all eyes." There are not many lives, there is only life itself. In those words lies the essence of his vision. For him, the world was not made of separate entities, but of one undivided awareness playing in endless forms. That is why he could sit beside a dying cow and radiate the same presence he offered to a dying man. Compassion for him was not something practiced, It was spontaneous. When you live without ego, love becomes your fragrance. You begin to care not because you should, but because you cannot help it. Ramana Maharshi's relationship with that cow reveals something profound, that the divine is not somewhere far away in the clouds. It is here, breathing through every creature, moving through every moment. When the mind is quiet, when judgment stops, you can feel it, that soft pulse of existence that connects all things. He once remarked, "When you look at life without division, the whole world becomes your ashram." To live like that is to live in meditation, not doing something but being something. Meditation, for him, was not sitting in a particular posture or repeating a sacred word. It was living each moment in pure awareness, without interference of thought. If you can look into the eyes of an animal and see no difference, if you can watch a tree sway in the wind and feel your own heartbeat in its rhythm, then you're tasting the same truth that Ramana lived. You have touched the eternal. Ramana Maharshi did not see enlightenment as a journey. He saw it as a return to what we already are, to that still center where no birth and death exist. When the cow left her body, he did not mourn, because he knew she had never truly been born, nor could she die. She had only changed her form in the dance of existence. And perhaps that is the greatest teaching he ever offered, that awakening is not found in temples or mountains, but in the way we see life itself. When the mind becomes silent, the heart begins to recognize that everything, the sage, the cow, the wind, the stars, is made of the same essence. In that recognition, all fear disappears because there is nothing left to lose. There is only one vast ocean, and we are its waves, rising, falling, and returning again into the infinite calm.